I'm Jill Grunenwald, and I've written 2 memoirs, Running with a Police Escort, Tales from the Back of the Pack, and Reading Behind Bars, a true story of literature, law, and life as a prison librarian. My experience from reading behind bars came from a real-life experience of working as the sole librarian at an all-male minimum security prison on the far west side of Cleveland. Reading behind bars was a really important story for me to tell because it talks about things that we as a culture don't really talk about, which is what life is like inside prison. Not a lot of people know that, either because they themselves haven't been incarcerated or they don't know anybody who has. And so shedding light on that subject in the sphere of talking about books and libraries, which I love, made a very compelling story for me. I think one of the big misconceptions people have about individuals who are incarcerated is that they are dumb, like unintelligent. They are just like all murderers and just really terrible people. And that is just not accurate at all. I met very intelligent men inside, and articulate men, men who made one mistake and are, paid the price for it. And so that was part of my desire to write the book, was just to showcase that the guys that are inside are just like the rest of us. They just got caught for a mistake. One of the best experiences I had while I was working at the prison was with a guy who was about my age, so like mid-20s, and he had dropped out of high school. And one day he came in wanting to read books that he was supposed to write in high school but didn't because he dropped out. And he didn't know where to start because he didn't really know what those books were, so he came to me. And I knew this was one of those opportunities that if I didn't give him the right book, could potentially turn him off books, even more, or he wouldn't come back. And so I saw it, through the classics that I had read. And I ended up recommending The Great Gatsby to him because it's about a gangster. And somehow I knew that, that is a very that's closing down Gatsby to a very singular thing. There's a lot going on. But Gatsby also is about a man who wants to better himself, just like this guy did. And so I, got him to read Gatsby, and he read it in just a couple of days and was back looking for more books as soon as he was done. So that was definitely one of the more satisfying moments. One of the things I learned most about myself working in a prison is that I hold the values of a library and what it stands for really close to my heart. I got into librarianship because I believe in the freedom of access to information for everybody, no matter what it is. That is a rule that doesn't exist in prison. There are rules in place that restrict access to certain books, which was a challenge for me as a writer and a reader and a librarian. And so that is probably the biggest thing I came away with, is wanting to inform people about these restrictions and fight for access to books for everybody, those incarcerated and those not.